You can search far and wide looking for the best place to live, but I wouldn't trade our city for the world. Long before it was a city, Lake Quivira was just a slice of paradise set in the rolling hills of eastern Kansas. It was a treasure for the Native American Indians who lived here first, and for Charles Galt, a real estate developer who in 1922 pursued his vision to create a recreational lake. We've come a long way since then, and becoming a city in 1971 is a pivotal part of our story. As we celebrate our first 50 years as a city, let's look back at a few of the people and events that shaped our history. Plans to incorporate as a city first started in 1961. That idea was met with some resistance, but then 10 years later, activities beyond our gate provided the momentum to complete the process. So in early 1971, the city of Shawnee moved to annex areas of Lake Quivira, and our community saw that as a direct threat and launched a successful petition drive to incorporate. On July 12, 1971, the Johnson County Board of Commissioners approved Lake Quivira as a third-class city.
So back in 1971, I was pretty young, living out here at the lake, so I saw it secondhand, I would say. But what I saw was the vision and the prudence of the leaders of that time. We knew we had some issues. The city of Shawnee was going to annex us shortly. And so the leaders here at Lake Quivira said, no, we're going to create a third-class city. And with that came a lot of problems, a lot of things we needed to address, but it was the right thing to do.
Forming Lake Quivira was far more than a defensive move from keeping Shawnee from annexing us. It set the stage for Quivira to shape its future through enforceable building codes and to finance some infrastructure and other activities through favorable tax financing. It also came with some limited liability, which makes it more sensible for Quivira to own our 3 dams. And finally, it set a model of good governance that provided for open meetings and active community participation.
That following September, Lake Quivira elected the first mayor and 5 city council members. Quivirans soon discovered that becoming a city was actually much easier than building a city government from the ground up. The first city council passed 25 ordinances that initial year. They set the foundation for managing police and fire operations, as well as the sewer, water treatment, and the dam.
Being a third-class city allowed us to finance infrastructure improvements and operations such as the police department, the fire department, with tax preference dollars. Individuals can write off city taxes on their income taxes. Those who buy city bonds do not have to pay income tax on the interest on those bonds, both of which make financing much cheaper and favorable to the residents of Lake Quivira.
So with the creation of the city in 1971, we not only had a board of directors, but now we had a city council to fill. And all these individuals were volunteers with other jobs, other responsibilities, and families, and young children, older children, what have you, vacations, travel. So it was a challenge. It was a tremendous commitment for the city to fill those positions and fill them with qualified people. And through the years, there were some amazing people that passed through those doors.
One of the big things when you talk about the city versus Q Inc., I mean, it's so confusing for a lot of people because we have a city, we have a country club, and a lot of people just don't get the difference. But to me, it all made sense, kind of the structure the city provides, the basic resources, the fire, police, sewers, things like that, not the real glamorous stuff like the clubhouse, but all the nuts and bolts stuff that really kind of protect us in a lot of ways. So it's a great entity, great having that, and it really gives us so much benefit to have a city and to be our own city.
Those early leaders also tackled our infrastructure challenges head on. In the early 70s, the city reconstructed major parts of the dam. They constructed the dam by the horse pasture and reconfigured the water and sewer systems. Then in 1984, we built our current City Hall.
When we built the City Hall, it was a big deal because we moved out of the internal confines of Lake Quivira, the corporation of Lake Quivira, and moved to the border, which is really where the city resides, in the surrounding area, because the city surrounds Quivira Incorporated. And so I think that was one of the benefits. It also put the firehouse, police department, and the city council all in one building, as well as the city clerk. So it kind of combined a lot of features of the city.
Starting in 1946, Lake Quivira residents provided their own fire protection services with volunteers.
It wasn't until 1971, when we became a third-class city, that we actually owned the equipment, if you will. But post-1971 to 2018, essentially there were consistent and constant improvements in communications, outdoor siren network, apparatus and apparatus capabilities, and certainly a higher level of training. The one consistent thing that never changed, regardless from 1946 to the dissolving of the fire department in late 2017, the absolute dedication of the personnel and the people. It was a community effort. We were there to mitigate emergencies, whether they be fire or whether they be medical, and to be sure that all the resources in the county were, if you will, dispatched for a particular situation. It was very gratifying. We always had the support of all the council members, the mayor, and as well as the residents at large.
Lake Quivira wouldn't be a vibrant lake community without a strong dam system. And that's been a central focus for every mayor and council member over the past 50 years.
The City of Lake Quivira works with Kansas Department of Health and Environment. They have the jurisdiction over our dam. It's right behind me. You see the lake, and it's an essential amenity to this community. It binds us all together, the lake does. Without a functioning dam, we don't have a lake. So the lake has had some horrific rain events through the years. And one of the things when I was on the council was the 1993 event where we received 8 inches of rain in one night. Where we're sitting right now was underwater. There were docks that were unmoored that were going into the spillway that could have blocked the spillway, and we could have lost the dam. The Black & Veatch engineers who originally designed this dam came in and redesigned our outflow capacity. Now what's essential here is that the Black & Veatch came in and said, you need 3 more merchant spillways. That was going to cost millions of dollars. The council said, wait a minute, lake has been here for 70-some years. We've never had this kind of an issue. Take a look at your figures again. They looked at their figures and said, we made a mathematical mistake. You need to spend a few $100,000 on increasing the outflow capacity, which is what we did. That's the importance of a good council that knows their lake and also doesn't want to spend money foolishly.
City leaders have faced tough decisions over the years, including what to do with the gas station just outside the front gate.
So the gas station is another amenity, and in the heyday, of course, it was a beautiful structure, and it was well run, and it was a great service to the community. But through the years, after the original gas station went down, the newer gas station was in great deterioration. And the days of being able to provide a gas station with a service station, with milk and coffee and donuts, the city was losing money. And that's when we made the tough decision to say, look, we're going to have a 24-hour gas station with no services. I think it was the right thing to do. It's still standing some 20 years later, and people can go down there and get their gas for the golf carts, for the boats, and their cars. And the price is generally very good.
Early actions to become a city were founded on the desire to protect our borders and control development. That priority has continued over the past 5 decades.
During that time period, or right before I became mayor, Quivira Incorporated acquired a big parcel of land just to the east of us, kind of adjacent to the golf course along Quivira Lane. And the good news about that was it was a great piece of land, gave us a buffer. The bad news is a lot of that property was in Kansas City, Kansas. So one night at a mayor meeting, I reached out to Mark Holland, who was then mayor of Kansas City, Kansas, and said, hey, Mark, what would you think if you just gave us this property? He kind of laughed as we got into discussion. we put things together, and ultimately a few months later or several months later, we annexed that property, which is really highly unusual to see a little bit of city like us annex property from a huge city like Kansas City, Kansas. So it was a great thing and really gives us a future on that property to do whatever we want, and it's up to us to decide.
Becoming a city is a key milestone in Lake Quivira's history. Thanks to the vision and hard work of our leaders over the last 50 years, the city has steadily upgraded and expanded our physical assets, and we are on solid footing for the future.
The future of Lake Quivira depends upon enhancing this symbiotic relationship between Quivira Incorporated and the City of Lake Quivira.
I've been on City Council now for about 18 months, and I have an appreciation for the differences between Q Inc. and the City of Lake Quivira. And while they are different and distinct, there is a collaboration that continues to evolve and get better and better each year as we work together to serve the entire community of Lake Quivira.
Happy 50th anniversary, Lake Quivira. We might be a third-class city, but we truly are world-class.
Happy 50th anniversary, Lake Quivira.
Happy 50th anniversary, Lake Quivira.
Happy 50th anniversary to the City of Lake Quivira.
Happy anniversary, Lake Quivira!
I'd like to wish the city of Lake Quivira a happy 50th anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Lake Quivira!
Happy 50th anniversary, City of Lake Quivira.
I'd like to say happy anniversary to the City of Lake Quivira. Happy 50th.
Hey, happy 50th anniversary, City of Lake Quivira, the greatest city on the planet.